What I'm most excited about is the opportunity for growth. My
Yeah.
predecessors left me a very strong capital position, and with that capital, we have the opportunity to be a little more aggressive in offering better rates and looking at our fees. We've already dropped a few of the fees that we thought were unnecessary,
Oh,
and all in the interest of serving the members, and also investing in some technology as well.
yeah.
We were a little behind.
Positively West Virginia is powered by Breezeline high-speed fiber internet and sponsored by Highmark West Virginia, Freedom Key of Morgantown, Interaction Media, and Storymaker. With the help of these sponsors, we are able to share the positive business stories of West Virginians, including the one featured in today's episode.
Well, folks, we're visiting today with Zachery Ueltschy. He's the CEO of the United Federal Credit Union here in not only in Morgantown, but 4 locations in West Virginia and Pennsylvania. Zach, thanks for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. I'm glad to see you again. I'm looking forward to discussing your business. Zach, tell us a little bit about the United Federal Credit Union and what you do.
Well, the United Federal Credit Union, it was founded in 1973
Okay.
in Washington, D.C. It was originally founded as the United Mine Workers of America Federal Credit Union.
Okay.
Within 10 years, it had migrated its headquarters into Pennsylvania, and at that point, it became community chartered, which means it not only served members of the UMWA, but also members of its community that it was chartered in. And at
Great.
that point, it also changed its name to the United Federal Credit Union. Since then, it moved to Morgantown, and we're headquartered in Cheat Lake.
Yeah.
We have 4 locations, our main in Cheat Lake, and one in Star City. In Pennsylvania, we have 2, one in Uniontown, one in Mount Pleasant.
Yeah.
We're actually chartered in 4 counties, Monongalia County in West Virginia, and also Preston County, even though we have no branch there, but we are chartered. And then in Pennsylvania, Fayette County and Westmoreland County. We serve about 6,100 members, and we're a full service financial institution. We offer checking products, savings products, IRAs, money markets, certificates. On the lending side, we have several lending products, mortgages, auto loans. We have personal loans and motorcycle and recreational vehicle loans.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome.
so,
It's the whole gambit.
yeah.
Really, Zach. I think it's pretty neat because you're a West Virginia guy. Grew up in Pine Grove, West Virginia. Went to WVU. Went on to get your master's degree at Liberty University. How did you get started in the financial, in the financial institution industry?
Well, my first job in accounting was at a nonprofit organization, and from there, I moved on to an accounting firm, and then that was my first 2 steps, and then an opportunity came open at the United Federal Credit Union, and that's where I've been ever since. I've been there 9 years, and I started there as a
Fantastic.
staff accountant, and
Great.
actually, when I started there, it was kind of a blessing. Our CFO at the time, Mike Singlewald, he was a real mentor to me. He was a really good teacher. It was actually my first opportunity to see somebody. It's like the first time you see a CFO conduct themselves as a CFO in an organization. So that was beneficial to me.
Yeah.
So he was a large part in how I was able to kind of get up to the level where I could step into the CFO role after he retired. And I was CFO for a few years, and then I was promoted again to senior vice president. And then I was senior vice president about a year, and then our CEO retired. Then I've been CEO since January of this year. So
Yeah.
I'm in month
Congratulations.
8.
That's
Thank you.
awesome, man. How's it going?
That's going well. It's
Yeah.
I'm settling in. It's been a transition,
Yeah.
but that was expected. It's not supposed to be easy.
That's right. Yeah.
But no, I like the challenge of it.
Yeah. So, you know, when you think about financial institutions, they're a part of all of our lives, right? We need to have a credit union. We need to have a bank to handle transactions, like you were saying, loans or deposits, checking, and so forth. What inspires you about the work that you're doing now?
What I like about it, particularly credit unions, it's about the relationship with the members. It's
Yeah.
not so much, I don't like it to be, I don't want it to be so much transactional. Now that does exist. We have what you call in banking, there's hot money where they're looking at rates. They want you purely for your rate, and then they'll jump to the next guy. And that's okay. That's there
Yeah,
too.
you'll
As a
have
matter
that,
of
yeah.
fact, so we can view that as an opportunity to maybe they're hot money now. Maybe we can build that relationship. But
Yeah.
I like the credit union's purpose is to partner with the member and help them reach their financial goals. So it's really not so much, put your money with us, you'll get this rate, and then we're hands off. It's
Yeah.
more, if you want to come in and get to know our staff, I mean, that's part of it. We want you to know who you're dealing with. We want you to think of our staff when you've got a question, or if you've got something in your life you're wanting to do. We want you to think, well, man, I can come in and talk to Bob in lending,
Yeah.
and I think he could help me out because he's been so helpful in the
I
past.
love that. And again, that's relationships, right? And
Right.
when I think of the United Federal Credit Union, you're a little different than a traditional bank in the sense that you're really owned by the members, right? It's
Right.
is it a nonprofit? Can you explain a little bit
It
how that
functions
works?
as a nonprofit.
Yeah.
When you become a member, then you own the credit union, and you have an equal share as all the other members.
That's amazing.
And our board is a volunteer board. They're not paid, and they're required to be members as well. And so is our supervisor, same thing. All staff, everybody's a member of the credit union. So it's structured this way. So the sole focus of what we do, it's always focused to the member, and that there's no shareholder behind the scenes or anything like that.
Right.
Like banks, for instance, might have a shareholder. Well, they're not required to be a customer or anything.
Mm.
And so really every strategy we take is geared towards that.
Yeah. It's like a
geared
full
towards the member.
immersion on the customer, the member.
Absolutely. And since we're nonprofit, that's why we have our tax exemption status. So we save money on the bottom line by, we have that volunteer board. We don't pay the taxes, but then the whole structure of the credit union, we're supposed to return that value to the members. So
Back into the community, really.
back into
Yeah.
the community,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but also to the members through better rates
Yeah.
and lower fees, things of that
I
nature.
love that. Yeah, that's super cool. So you mentioned a lot of products and services that you offer your members. What's like the thing that you're best known for? If you could narrow it down, maybe one or two things.
I'd say we're best known at this point for mortgage loans.
Yeah.
I mean, that's if you look at our loan portfolio, that's the majority of our loans is
Yeah.
mortgage loans.
Yeah.
And
And what a crazy time to be in that industry right now, the mortgage business, right?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
The last couple
it's
years.
slowed a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But things turn around. Things are always changing anyway.
Yeah,
So
of course.
we have to adapt either
And
way.
in context with historical rates, we're pretty good still, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, go ahead.
And since what was it, 2022 was an unprecedented how fast the Fed's rate was raised. So those are things you have to contend with.
There was a lot of competition too in the marketplace because there wasn't a lot of inventory, and especially in North Central West Virginia, and the rates, and it was just people bidding, and it was just going, I don't know, kind of crazy to watch what was happening in the mortgage and the real estate business
Yeah.
over the last couple of years for sure. What's your 30-second pitch? In other words, what do you tell people that you do at the United Federal Credit Union?
Well, we believe in empowering our members to achieve their goals, and we do that through personalized service.
Yeah.
At $106 million asset, as a $106 million asset credit union, where we have the financial stability and strength to offer you competitive rates, innovative products, but then we still offer that personalized touch with our membership.
Yeah.
Our team is here to help you achieve your goals, whether it's buying that house or buying a vehicle or just managing your day-to-day finances. So if you live, work, worship, or go to school in any of our chartered counties, then you're welcome to join and to find out the difference in a member-focused financial institution.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, Zach. This is Positively West Virginia. We'll be right back.
Your prescriptions are designed to keep you healthy, active, full of life. At Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield, we're making vital medicine more affordable. Because when your prescriptions don't cost an arm and a leg, you can use those limbs for something more meaningful. Because life. Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield, West Virginia.
At Freedom Kia, you'll find the perfect ride and savings for your summer adventures. This summer, dive into savings and fun. Just down the road is the Aquatic Center at Milan Park, where you can cool off and have some fun.
Committed to fair pricing, excellent sales, and service with no hidden fees. You'll love the all-new 2024 Kia Sportage X-Line all-wheel drive leasing for just $239 a month.
So whether you're diving into savings or fun, Freedom Kia and the Aquatic Center have got you covered. Visit Freedom Kia today, right off of exit 153 on I-79 in Morgantown.
And we're back. We're visiting today with Zachery Ueltschy. He's the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer for the United Federal Credit Union here in West Virginia and also in Pennsylvania. Zach, I appreciate what you're doing with your organization. And I love the idea of the relationships. I think it's all about the members. What's the thing you're most excited about for your organization right now?
What I'm most excited about is the opportunity for growth. My predecessors left me a very strong capital position. And with that capital, we have the opportunity to be a little more aggressive in offering better rates and looking at our fees. We've already dropped a few of the fees that we thought were unnecessary.
Wow.
And all in the interest of serving the members, and also investing in some technology as well. We were a little behind in that area, so we're trying to. I mean, right now we're working on some like Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, Google Pay. These are not new things, but we need to get up to speed.
Yeah.
So we're trying. What our aim is to we want to offer the best products we can, and we want to offer we want to be as close to up to date on technology as we can for the members' sake. And then we also want to maintain our identity as, we're personalized service.
Yeah. Yep.
So we're hoping that will lead to an increase in membership. We want people to see what we're offering. I mean, obviously the rates are going to catch eyes. That's how you get them to come in. Now, once they come in, it's up to us to really build the relationship. We want members for life. And so that's what I'm excited about. I want to see a spike in members. And, with that comes shares, it comes loans, assets go up. I mean, to me, that's what's exciting.
Yeah. You mentioned the four counties, Monongalia County and Preston County in West Virginia, and you're also in the Uniontown and Mount Pleasant area. Is that Fayette County, and what's Mount Pleasant?
Westmoreland.
Westmoreland. So you're in those four counties. So anybody who is living, working, worshiping, I think you said too, in one of those four counties is eligible. How does that?
Or going to school. Yeah.
Going to school. Okay. How does that work then? Would they just come in and they say, "Hey, I want to become a member"?
Yeah, that's a misconception. A lot of people think that it's a process. It's not a process. It's really as simple as opening up a checking account. You do it simultaneously. I mean, bank's got to collect your information as well.
It's not like there's not like a ritualization. You have to say the pledge or anything like that.
Well, I might bring that in. No, nothing like that. But
that's cool.
But yeah, it's very simple. You can do it at the same time. And I think in the past, credit unions used to be tied more to organizations, and it's not that way with a community credit union.
Kind of like you said with the United Mine Workers. That was kind of how it was initially chartered.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's still the case. If you're in the UMWA anywhere in the country, you can still join.
Oh, yeah. Amazing. Yeah, that's very cool. So with those four locations, how many employees are you leading in your organization now?
We usually have about 25 employees.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So, you've been at the helm now since January, in your eighth month as we're recording this in August. What's one of the most interesting things you've seen? You're like, wow, shaking your head.
Shaking my head.
That you can tell.
But I can tell. Yeah. It's I suppose I could talk in general terms. It's really the HR side. That's the side that it takes your time and it's not exciting. It's taken more of my attention and effort than I anticipated it would. Yeah. I mean, really, I like it when we're building our relationships, when we're out talking to folks about our products. I like the business side. I mean, to me, I look at the personnel side, and I'm thinking, well, obviously it's necessary, and we do work hard to we're working hard to build and maintain a good culture. Yeah. And but there's always seems to be some issues.
Yeah, some
one
challenges.
Way or another, some challenges.
And that's the way it is. It's life, right? And so people are people, and it's sometimes I remember years ago thinking, man, I'm just gonna own a coin-operated car wash. That's
Oh,
going to
yeah,
be my
there-
job
yeah.
because I can just go collect the money and take it to the credit union.
Yeah.
But man, it can be some challenge. There can be challenges, especially when you're dealing with humans. But you mentioned culture, and I'm curious, how would you define the culture at First United Credit Union?
Well, the culture is very much it's we're filled with a team that they are all it's as if they've been drinking the Kool-Aid. They
Yeah.
are really focused on the member.
Yeah.
We've had MSRs join us that came from maybe some larger banks. And I've had multiple of them come to me and say they really enjoy working at the credit union because they like knowing the people that are coming in the door. They like having that relationship. There's certain folks that come in and they'll only speak to a certain MSR of ours because of the relationship.
What does MSR stand for?
Member service representative.
Okay, good,
It's
good.
like a teller in a bank. And,
Okay, great. Yeah.
But yeah, the culture, I think we're getting to a point where we're really working as a unit, as a team.
That's cool.
And that was a focus of mine. Communication, I think, is important. We're trying. I'm not one to have meetings just for the sake of having meetings. That's not me. But I've found value in having regular meetings, whether it's with the whole staff, which we have a weekly staff meeting, but also with our management level team. And it's really just in the interest of everybody's on the same page. We're all as a unit working towards the goal. And so I think it's a collaborative culture at this
That's
point.
awesome. You had mentioned that you had a mentor that you were working with. I can't recall his name.
Mike Singlewalt.
Singlewalt. How important do you feel that is in terms of people, growing, number one, growing in an organization, growing in their position, having somebody to look up to have conversation with and have guidance and wisdom from?
Yeah, I think it's very important. And I can honestly say I wouldn't be in this position without that.
Yeah.
I mean, if I would have come in and it really would have just have been an 8 to 5 job and I'm not receiving any of that mentorship or that leadership, then sure, it's not like it's going to be a bad career or anything, but it could really take off to me when you have a mentor.
Yeah. I can definitely relate to that. I've had a number of great mentors in my career, and every once in a while I'll catch myself saying something that one of those that are all men, one of those guys would have said to me. I'm like, there it is.
Yeah.
Do you find that to be the case too?
Yeah, and so does my wife. she knew Mike, and
That's great.
she commented before how I'd be talking like Mike a little bit. So yeah,
That's
absolutely.
That to me, that's a great testimony for mentorship, and thanks for sharing that. This is Positively West Virginia. We'll be right back.
My name's Caitlin Furby. I'm an interior designer with Remarkable Interiors. Our time is very limited. We're trying to do everything we can possible to keep our clients' projects moving and rolling. So StoryMaker has been really great for us for putting out how to explain our company. I can sit and agonize about a post and is this right? Does this sound good? When I use StoryMaker, it sounds so beautiful and it was so easy and it saves me a lot of time to do the things that I'm really good at.
Stay connected with an unbeatable deal from Breezeline. Get reliable, fiber-powered 500 megabits internet for $39.99 per month with a $100 gift card and price lock guarantee, plus a free modem, free installation, and free Wi-Fi your way. Folks, here at Interaction Media, we're a media company, and we rely on high-speed internet every single day to get our jobs done. That's why we use Breezeline. It's affordable, it's fast, and they're awesome people as well. Learn more at breezeline.com. And we're back. We're visiting with Zachery Ueltschy. He is the CEO of the United Federal Credit Union. Zach, I'm thinking about, like you talked about how you're wanting to grow the membership. What's one of the biggest challenges you're facing in doing that?
One of the challenges is really the changing financial landscape. If you look at today, the online banks, the fintechs, they're a challenge to contend with, especially when you're brick and mortar. I mean, they don't have the overhead we do or the staff. And I'm not saying they're different than we are. We don't want to be a fintech or an online bank.
Yeah.
We want to serve the members as a credit union serves the members. But they also have the ability to post rates that are very competitive, and so we have to contend with that. And along with that, they're able to maybe stay up with technology quicker than we are able to, and that's a challenge as well. Especially trying to bring in younger folks that want all the bells and whistles. I mean, like I said, it is a focus of ours to keep up, but we also recognize that there are those that are kind of doing a different thing than we are, and they're better equipped to really be the leaders in technology.
So I guess it's important to stay in your lane too. Know your lane, stay in your lane, and be focused on, like in your case, the members and building those relationships.
Yeah, because if we try and be something that we're not, then I think that's a recipe for failure.
Yeah, it doesn't go well normally.
No.
So let's talk about the vision. Okay, you're the leader of the organization. What's the vision that you have long term?
Long term, I'd like to build our name recognition in the areas that we are now. Uniontown, that's a very busy branch in Uniontown. I feel that we were pretty well known there, but in Morgantown, to be honest, I didn't know we existed until I worked there, and I'd like to change that. I'd like to be to grow big enough to serve enough members. To me, if you do what we're supposed to do, if we serve the members, if we're building the relationships, then word of mouth. That all expands, and then
absolutely.
It's not just for the sake of being known. I'd like to be known for the right things.
Exactly.
And so that's really the broad vision.
The branches you have here in West Virginia. One is at Cheat Lake, and it's right there on. Was that 857? Right near the lake.
Right.
I drive by it quite a bit. And then you also have an office here in Star City.
In Star City.
On University Avenue.
Right.
Yeah. So, folks, if you're listening in North Central West Virginia, that'd be a great place to check out, especially if you're in Montague or Preston counties.
Absolutely.
And you're kind of in the heart, in Star City, the heart of the medical community there. A lot of people have to travel by your location just to get to the interstate, right?
Right.
Coming out of the hospital or those kinds of things too. So that's a really great location too. Very convenient for your all's perspective. So Zach, let's talk a little bit about leadership. You're at the helm, the CEO of the United Federal Credit Union since January. What do you think is one of the most important attributes of a successful business leader today?
I think adaptability.
Talk about that. Yeah.
Well, I think, and that's not to say that I've mastered adaptability. I'm a man very much of routine, and but to me, you have to identify there's a time to be uncomfortable, and that's in your personal life and then your professional life.
Yeah.
So I think we always have to know what we're doing, know what we like to do, what is our bread and butter, but also we have to know what's going on. We have to adapt. Technology, for instance, we just talked about.
Yeah.
We might like doing it the old way, and a lot of our members like doing it the old way, but you can't do it the old way forever.
Yeah.
And, we have to, there's always COVID, for instance, no, you had to adapt to COVID. Did anybody really see it coming?
Right.
You prepare your interest rate risk, your ALM for things to happen. And so you're always testing to see if you're prepared, but it's different in testing and when reality sets in, when something actually happens and you have to contend with it.
Yeah, absolutely. You used the word adaptability, right? And being adaptive. There was a word that it kind of became a pet peeve of mine because everybody was using the word pivot, but that's what adapting is, right?
Yeah.
You see that, hey, this needs to change a little bit and we got to go over here, and that's adapting. And I appreciate that too, because I'm a creature of habit as well. I sit in the same seat for our Rotary meeting every Thursday, and I don't like change too much, but change is inevitable, right? And you've got to be able to figure out and be able to spot the opportunities. I like to say, because I was asking you about your vision, without a clear vision, it's impossible to tell an opportunity from a distraction. And I think that's where a lot of people get off course, is they think everything is an opportunity when they're not really focused on the vision.
Right. And
the adaptability is that sense. It's almost an art form to be able to know when to take that trajectory change, right? The pivot, my pet peeve word. That's pretty cool. I appreciate you sharing that. As I mentioned, you're from Pine Grove, West Virginia. You're here in here in Morgantown, doing great things with your organization. What would you think, or what would you say to somebody like a young person thinking about starting a business in West Virginia? as an entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur. I mean, you're running this thing. What kind of advice would you give somebody?
I would say, don't be afraid to appear to be foolish. I say that because, to me, you almost have to be in order to become good at something.
Yeah.
And I know any time that I've asked the question that I thought was a silly question, I mean, you're always going to remember the answer because it's uncomfortable to ask the question.
Yeah, of course.
But, just I guess to borrow from Jordan Peterson a little here, the fool precedes the master. And I believe that. So the advice I would give is to dive in. You can plan all you want, but you're going to have to adjust.
Yeah.
So it's best to me to dive in, to take your punishment, to look a fool for a while, and then you come out as better.
Being going through the trials and tribulations of learning something is where you get strong, right? You can't build a muscle until you tear it down a little bit.
Right.
And so I think that's great advice and great wisdom, and I appreciate that for sure. Zach, we've covered a lot in this interview. Is there anything else that I haven't touched on that you would like our audience to know about, either you or your organization?
As far as the organization is concerned, I guess the message I'd like to get out is, we'd really like your membership.
Yeah.
We want to be in the community. We want to, so it doesn't matter if it's you, if it's a business, if it's an organization within the community. I mean, we're here to support the community as well. So
I love it. Yeah.
really, anything comes to mind and you think the credit union could help, then please come in.
I think that's important, and it's a simple process. You open up a checking account.
Yeah.
You become a member.
Yeah.
And you're in essence one of the owners.
Right.
Yeah, which is
even if it's
cool.
not you becoming the member, if it's a community, if it's a cause in the community, and we can partner, there may be no membership involved in that, then we're all ears. We want to hear about it.
That's awesome, man. Appreciate that. As we close out our time, Zach, how can our listeners learn more about you and the United Federal Credit Union?
The best way is to go to our website at tufcu.org.
Yeah, and we'll make sure we put that in the show notes and on social media, and folks can just check it out. Go pay them a visit if you're here in West Virginia, Cheat Lake, or Star City. Our guest once again is Zachery Ueltschy. He's the CEO of the United Federal Credit Union here in West Virginia and Pennsylvania. Zach, thanks for being on the show today. I think what you're doing is amazing. You're a great leader, and I'm glad to know you.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
We'd like to thank our partners, Highmark West Virginia, Freedom Kia of Morgantown, Interaction Media, Storymaker, and our studio sponsor, Breezeline, for helping to share these positive stories. If you'd like to become a sponsor of the Positively West Virginia podcast, visit positively.wv.com/sponsor.
Hey, folks, that's a wrap on another episode of Positively West Virginia. If you or someone you know would be a great guest on our show, drop us a line on our website at positively.wv.com. And we, of course, appreciate your encouragement and comments along the way, and sharing these episodes just like Zach's. Get the word out there about his organization. On behalf of our entire Positively West Virginia team, including today, we have two producers. Our newest is Jimmy Murray, just joining the IAM team and Positively West Virginia team, and Hampton Hill behind the controls. I'm your host, Jim Atuga. Stay positive, West Virginia.